is saying is, some of these niche subjects like critical race theory, other types of DEI-infused courses and majors, Florida's getting out of that game. If you want to do things like gender ideology, go to Berkeley, go to some of these other places. That's fine.
Florida Governor Ron DeSantis, after he signed a bill banning diversity, equity, and inclusion initiatives at public schools in his state. He's not the only one. Republican Glenn Youngkin also took on DEI in Virginia.
We've got to get back to the basic principles that we know are right and away from the bombastic language that DEI has become, where people all of a sudden are professing that we want equal outcomes for everyone at any cost, and where all of a sudden excellence has been subordinated to equity.
All right, and over the past few years, DEI has become quite the rage in corporate America. So politicians from both sides now will use it as the cultural football. Ian Samuels here, Harvard Law Fellow, former clerk for Justice Antonin Scalia, with us now. Ian, this is what caught my eye out of this whole story, right? We know Republicans are all in on this, but fine. New York Times, who championed equity, inclusion, on and on and on and on. They've now changed with this headline. Why some companies are saying diversity and belonging instead of diversity and inclusion. The changing terminology reflects new thinking among some consultants who say traditional DEI strategies haven't worked out as planned. You think?
Yeah. Big time, right? And I thought that was an interesting article because I do get the real sense that the push for a very specific kind of opinion about race, especially in America, that push kind of got a bit out over its skis around 2020 or so. And there is a real sense that I think that the DEI brand specifically, and it is a brand, it's a brand for the people selling it, and there are a lot of people who sell it for quite a bit of money, and it's a brand for the people who oppose it, like Governor DeSantis, as you just mentioned. That brand has become pretty toxic. Right, it's become a political watchword for people who are on the center right to the right of this country. So it doesn't surprise me that much that they're going to kind of come up with a new name for it. But the question is, as always, the substantive content of these programs, and that is where usually the debate gets a great deal fuzzier.
Yeah, what I'm trying to figure out, though, is why the left is cutting and running so quickly from it. Because it was something that they held so near and dear and that corporate America was beat over the head with. And if you weren't all in for DEI, you were a racist, on and on and on. And what I'm wondering is, fair enough, 2020 brought a reality check to a lot of us that there are still real problems in America. We can argue about how we got here. We can argue about where we're going. We're going to argue about where America is right now. But there's a lot of people who are really hurting here through no fault of their own. And I'm wondering if that moment has now been squandered. Because as you point out, both sides are so polarized here. And DEI has now become toxic, not only on the right, but also in the New York Times, they won't even defend it. Now you wonder if that real opportunity to have some honest discussions isn't here anymore.
Well, I wonder if there isn't a more optimistic way to think about it, which is we can take this as an experiment that ran its course and was a failure. And that experiment was sort of, can we solve the racial problems of America with a race-first approach, right, that centers race above essentially all other factors in American life? Now, we have tried that approach many times in this country, and it has generally not been a success, even on its own terms. There are alternative approaches, however, and if we can take this as an experiment that shows us that an alternative is necessary, it might be very valuable. There are alternatives that look like for example, and I'm going to say this because I've got a Daily Worker poster in the background, a class-first approach that thinks about the commonalities of black, white, brown people of all sorts that are united by their position as workers, right? And then incidentally, along the way, of course, promotes things like racial justice and things that people agree on, but that unites them along some axis of commonality rather than focusing and centering, as our friends in the DEI world would say, centering things that make these working people different. If that's what we learn from it, and I'm not confident that it is what we'll learn from it, then I think that it'll have been a very valuable lesson.
Thanks for watching. Go to newsnationnow.com to find NewsNation on your television provider. And don't forget to subscribe. Click the red button to get more of NewsNation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.